I'm always open to everybody's viewpoint as far as their spirituality or lack thereof. And there are a lot of people who vehemently oppose the scriptures. However, just if you look at Deuteronomy chapter 28 and look at the curses that the people of that book inherited, you will clearly see that it matches so perfectly.
5 years ago, my friends and I were in prison for a crime we did not commit. Our youth was stolen from us. Every day as we walked into courtroom, people screamed at us, threatened us because of Donald Trump. He spent $85,000 on a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for our execution. We were innocent kids, but we served a total of 41 years in prison.
45 wanted us unalive. He wanted us dead. Today we are exonerated because the actual perpetrator confessed and DNA proved it. That guy says he still stands by the original guilty verdict. He dismisses the scientific evidence rather than admit he was wrong. He has never changed, and he never will.
I mean, in light of what's going on right now in the United States, how they're giving these immigrants, a place to stay, food, all this money, more money than what us citizens have, what us indigenous people have and will ever have access to. There's a lot of us that are homeless right now in the United States, and they're giving these immigrants, a free ride to college and everything else that I mentioned previously. And it's crazy. And prior to them doing this to other people in the United States, they have always done that to my people who look like me, the indigenous people here in the Americas. They've always done that. They have always marginalized us in that way. But back to what I was saying, to what this person was saying about how work recruitment conferences are being launched around cities in Britain this year in 2024 for them to live in the United States with a visa, providing their homes for their families and just everything else, as I mentioned earlier, that they're giving to these people a freaking free ride. But yet again, as I've mentioned, they still tell my people to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Okay, and we're still marginalized worse than anyone else here, and it matches the curses so perfectly of our people. The foreigner who resides among you will rise higher and higher, but you will sink lower and lower. They will lend to you, but you will not lend to them. They will be the head, but you will be the tail. And that's not true. I've heard a couple of people say that the Bible is not literal, it's allegorical. It doesn't get any more literal than this, though. I just want to know what your thoughts are, if you want to share.